Well, it's Easter time, and this is what it looks like in my home right now. I wanted to just take you through this room, show you what's going on in here. I have adopted a very minimal kind of decorating style lately, and I'm not doing a whole lot in my rooms. Now, part of that is because I'm doing other creative activities. As you guys know, I've started another channel and I've been making some very creative music videos for fun. And there comes a time when you are decorating that you actually love the way your home looks and don't want to change it. And that's where I am right now. Now, it's not to say I couldn't change out that picture over the table from time to time. In fact, I could go out and get the bunny and put the bunny up just for Easter. Let's look around this room and see what else is going on that just hints of Easter, because that's what I've been about this year, is hinting of Easter. These are my eggs. Cammie and I made these eggs years ago. They're just wooden eggs that we painted and antiqued and then sprayed with a sealer. They're pretty crude. I mean, really, they're not perfect at all in any way, shape, or form, but they're very fun. The colors are fun, the green and the gold and the black and the brown. And these sit in a drawer all year, and they come out probably in March and sit around in whatever container I want them in. I have them in two very old Trine bowls, and so love that, and it just sits on my table. I've got my flame stitch furniture in here. This has turned out to be a really good thing because people can sit there and dine with us. I have been using different tables in my tavern. This one I think is going to stay. It's bigger. It fits a few more people, and I love this tavern, and I love the patina of the wood. See how it matches the floor so well? Also, what really helps in this room is giving it some definition by the area rug. This area rug turned out to be the finishing touch for this room. I love it. It's one of the old tavern signs, and it's totally imperfect. It is a photograph of an old tavern sign, and so you can look at it and see where the paint was peeling, everything. It's darker on that side than it is over here. It says A.N. Mason on it. I just really like it. And that horse coming through, that gives me a lot of visual interest. But because it's so dark in tone, it doesn't distract. All right. This is a flip top table. This is actually a reproduction. Unlike the other one that's a real old table, this is a reproduction. And I think it just fits really well right here. I've got a little light on here. I don't have that many lights in this room. I usually light it with candles, but I do need a few lights so that I don't break my neck. And this, of course, is in my collection of the daguerreotype kind of pieces. Yeah, technically, could we say that they had a daguerreotype on the wall? No, they did not have a daguerreotype on the wall back in 1780. But the colors are so great. The people in the old clothing, I love these people. They're just interesting to me. The looks on their faces, I find it very fascinating. All right, over here I have these keys. I think I picked this up somewhere, and the other two were in the house when we bought it. And to me, it's just reminiscent of an innkeeper at an old tavern would have keys to an outside building, and they would keep them accessible. I also like this. This is an old sconce, and it's just super cool in here, right? It's just really cool. And coming over here, I've got one of my banister back chairs, and this is my Easter decoration in here too. You saw the eggs and just this little thing. My daughter bought this for me years ago at Woodstock Country Shop. It's just a cute little Easter bunny, and I love the way it looks on the wall. I do have lanterns on this wall now. This is something that I finally have figured out what to do. You do not see the cord. Like, you really can't see the cord because it's against the dark wall. It's a brown cord against a brown wall. It disappears visually, and that gives me the opportunity then to have those two lights kind of support this whole section. And this section, of course, is just a real tavern scene with barrels and buckets and a bench. And love the plate up there, just the treen. I do have another rug down here. This is another tavern sign rug. And this is good because it actually covers where the cord is running along to go to those lights, because there's no outlet over there. So this rug just ties in some more of the theme of the tavern and some of the colors. So you can see that rug's there. This rug is here. They don't clash with each other because they're all the same theme. And I didn't mention my banister chairs that were Lana Testas, but 2 of them are here and I have 2 of them in another room. So we saw before, I've kept it really simple up here with this wreath right now and a couple candlesticks. And then this old lantern that I picked up at the antique fair a couple weeks ago. So super fun. And that's this room. And this room is going to stay this way. It really is. It's going to stay this way because in the winter, it's really nice to light a fire and sit on the comfortable furniture. You can still see the fire and enjoy the heat. I really love that table there under that picture because that's where I can put foods. People can sit down here and enjoy sitting down. We also have the bar, which is very handy. Oftentimes we'll serve food on the bar. I have not done that lately though. I do have barrels on this bar, and I did go ahead and put one of my bunnies up here. For some reason, this bunny, he's very rustic. He kind of works in this setting. So this bunny ends up making the cut and coming out every year just for a couple weeks. Here's a different look in this room. And it's just a fun Easter look. It certainly isn't a tavern look. It's certainly not an authentic kind of feeling. But if you wanted to bring a little more whimsy and bunny into a primitive room, this works. Well, it turns out it's going to be 76 degrees tomorrow. We're doing Easter dinner tomorrow on Saturday. We're doing a brunch. And we have 9 people and 4 dogs. And in the interest of my sanity in my house, one of those dogs is huge. We are going to have it outside on the deck. So we're going to get the deck ready, get it all set for Easter, and have it out there. And we're going to use paper plates. So we're not going to be decorating this table today. But I did want to go ahead and decorate this room for spring just to show you again what I've done in this room. And it's really coordinated well with the room next to me, which I love the flow from one room to another. So we've got the brown walls in the one room. It's the black bean soup color. And so it's very dark. We're coming back out here. And we're looking from this room into that room. There's a really nice flow in these 2 rooms with the golds and the browns and the wood tones, just really comforting and beautiful. So when you walk into this room, there's a lot more light, but you're still experiencing so many of those same colors, which is why I chose to put the gold in the curtains. I did have burgundy and I had black, and I decided that the gold would be really pretty for spring. So that sits here. Interesting lines. Look at this. Like there's interest. I thought there was a flaw on my curtain, but those are shadows from the window. Very, very interesting. So I've got this pretty gold stencil, And I love that because it gives you the early American look. It's a little more simple, so it's a little bit more primitive style. Also in this room, I've got this table that I had made last year. I think it was probably September of last year. I had this man make this table, and I have never regretted it. This table is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But you'll notice that I actually changed the room. Usually the table was lengthwise so that when you walked in that door, you pretty much walked into the table. And one day I was filming in here and I wanted to move the table over away from the fireplace and realized that the table worked really well this way too. It's kind of a square room. So there's no real rule about where to put the table. I really like it this way because look at all the extra room on this side and the other side of the table. There's room if I had a nice chair there by the fire, and it's just made the room twice as big. I don't really understand how that works. But anyway, we have these beautiful chairs that I picked up at on Facebook Marketplace. And they brought this room into more of a high country kind of look. So we've got primitive elements, we've got some high country kind of elements, and we have some colonial elements. The primitive really with the colors and the brown and this burl bowl that is on this table is definitely old and definitely primitive. So let's just look around this room and see what I've done for spring. Now, I still have the cloaks up. Part of the reason is I have so many holes in the wall. I just want to cover them with the cloaks. But I like the way the cloaks look. They're warm and comforting. And the truth is that right now we're still wearing coats. So it kind of works. Over here, I had Harriet Tubman. And she sat there proudly until about 2 hours ago when I decided that I was just going to bring a little bit of whimsy into here for Easter. And this is Sir William Bunny. I love him. He's very dapper in his outfit. And he also has all those gold tones that are in the curtains. So he complements this room wonderfully, but brings a little bit of whimsy. And if you pair that with a couple of these Real Touch tulips that have been antiqued and thrown into starter pots with a little bit of Spanish moss, you have a really nice spring look. And this comes out every spring just because it reminds me of the Easter bunnies that my grandma would give me every year, the chocolate bunnies. So this is what's going on right here in the fireplace. And I think that even if we put a fire in here, this is going to be a very warm, cozy look. The other thing that I did in this room to bring spring into the room was, this is one of my area rugs, and I ordered it as a sample because I wanted to see how they turned out. I really like them. They've got this rubber backing. They're very thin and light, and they're chenille. They print up really nicely. That's what I like about them. They print up nicer than the heavy duty rugs do. Sometimes they print them up a little funky and I have to have it reprinted. This is just, it prints really well. And it looks so good on a table. So that brought just a bunch of light into the room. That with the more gold curtains instead of the burgundy or black curtains really brought some good light color in here. And that light color continues to complement other things in the room, like this wreath that has the yellow. I don't even know what they are, but it's so pretty. And this has been sitting here since fall because it's just beautiful. Maybe at Christmas, sometimes I take it down, but it's kind of, it works for the whole year. Now, I do have something in this room that is new, and I'm sure you guys have noticed it. First, we're going to go over, however, to the pussy willows, because for me, pussy willows are a definite sign of spring. You can always purchase them in flower shops, and this particular set of pussy willows is about 5 years old or 7 years old, and it's still looking really good. When I put it away, I just make sure I don't damage it in any way. And I love the way those sticks with those little fluffy pussy willows look. Okay, here is what I'm talking about. Jan Busby, our friend, who we did a Christmas tour, She had this spinning wheel in her house, and she bought it from a woman who had quite a few spinning wheels at one time. She brought it home. It's been sitting in her downstairs hallway entrance place, and it just took up a lot of space. This is a huge walking spinning wheel, probably from the mid 1700s. It's in beautiful shape. And Jen contacted me a few days ago and asked me if I would like it. She was going to give it to me as a gift, and it's a wonderful gift. So I met her this week and we met in the middle and picked it up. And so now it is sitting lovingly in my corner as a testament to the time period and the women of the age. And so because this is in the corner right here, which was kind of the only place to put it right now, I also put this woman there, and she again is this nice golden yellow color, and it really brings spring into the room, especially when it's balanced right there in the mirror. I mean, I love playing off the reflection. So if you have a mirror and you can reflect something pretty in that mirror, you get double the bang, and I really love that. The clock still sits there, and this is the room. I do have a couple Easter eggs. They're big old Easter eggs. They're sitting in angel hair from Lainey, and I bought those Easter eggs from Lainey a few years ago. Those come out every year because they're super primitive, but they also have that touch of Easter. For me, it's all about, let's fix this. For me, it's all about just little touches of Easter that don't gag you, don't make the room too cluttered. Something though that's just gonna say light and bright, and we're changing seasons, and I really love that.